Hi and welcome to another episode of Toby's Barbecue Corner. Today we're making braised veal cheeks in the Dutch oven with fettuccine and fig jam crostini. Now what you need for it and how to do it, I'm going to show you in this episode. And this is what we need for today. Now we need some star anise, we need some figs, we need some sugar, we need some fettuccine, you need a bread. Now you can use ciabatta or a French baguette. You need a can of peeled and chopped tomatoes, you need some salt, some pepper, some broth. You need some red wine, you need some olive oil, you need some balsamic vinegar, you need some flour, you need an onion, a couple of bay leaves, a couple of cloves of garlic, some fresh parsley, and obviously the star of today's show. These are 8 lovely veal cheeks from the local butcher, and I think they look absolutely fantastic. Now this is a super easy dish. It has a little bit of an Italian twist because of the tomatoes, but now just in case you're wondering, I'm not going to bother cleaning anything up here because you want all that collagen, you want all the fat in there because that's going to render down, it's going to give you lovely flavor. So all we're going to do is we're quickly going to season the meat with salt and pepper on both sides. And obviously as we're cooking it for a long time, don't worry if it's a lot of salt and pepper that you're putting on there. It will get absorbed and it will just add to the flavor. You're gonna turn it around, do the same thing from the other side. As you can tell, from my previous videos where I usually take quite some time to remove, any unwanted fat and whatnot, so this is considerably easier. But I love cooking in the Dutch oven. I think it just makes it super nice, super easy. The Dutch oven basically does it for you. And, you really don't have to be an amazing chef. The Dutch oven will really take care of you in more way than one. And then what you want to do is you want to use some flour, simply because it helps with the browning in the Dutch oven. So just coat the cheeks a little bit with it, again from both sides, and that will help you. As usual in my videos, let's get the cutting out of the way. And now as we are going to be cooking the veal cheeks for about 3.5–4 hours, we're not going to bother dicing up the onions too fine because they will cook down anyways. So just cube them up and that's all you need to do. And then same thing with the garlic, just take off the skin and we're going to give it a quick chop, and that's all we're going to do. The Dutch oven is nice and hot. I've already added some olive oil into it. So now we're going to take our veal cheeks and give them a bit of a sear. About 2 minutes in, let's give them a flip. Again, 2 minutes later, let's flip them on the side. So really give them a sear from all sides. And then we can also add in the other 2 that I couldn't fit in previously. And make sure they get a bit of a sear as well. The veal cheeks have gotten sufficient color, so we're going to remove them, set them to the side, and we're going to take care of our veggies. So for that we're just going to throw in the onions as well as the garlic, give them a bit of a sear, and let them soak up all these lovely flavors that are already in there from the veal. And we're going to throw in the 2 bay leaves as well. Make sure that they have ample time to release their flavors as well. About 3 minutes later, the onions are having the consistency that I'm looking for. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add a little bit of red wine into it. As you can tell, it's boiling right away. Now what you want to do is you want to reduce it down so that all the liquid has evaporated, and then we're going to put in the veal cheeks again. The wine has reduced down sufficiently, so we're going to add the veal cheeks back into our broth. Oh well, back into the Dutch oven I wanted to say. We're going to add in the tomatoes, and don't worry that they're still whole, so they're not diced but whole, but they will cook down nicely, and that will give it that Italian twist that we're looking for. We're going to top it up with some red wine. As well as the broth. And now we're going to close the lid and let that cook for 3.5 to 4 hours at 150 degrees Celsius. While the meat is cooking away in the Dutch oven, let's take care of our fig jam crostini. So all you want to do is you want to cut off the front of your figs, obviously make sure that they're washed, and then you just, oh look at them, just absolutely lovely. All you need to do is basically cut them in like chunks like this. And then we're going to put them in the pan with the sugar and the other ingredients. Alright, let's take care of the fig jam. So all you want to do is you take the sugar, put it in a pan or a bowl. Now I prefer the pan, the bowl. A pinch of salt. And the star anise. Now you want to make sure that you know exactly how many star anise there are. So there are 4, because we'll need to remove them later on and we need to find every single one of those suckers. And now just make sure you caramelize, you don't get too dark, so don't go too hot either, and constantly keep it moving. Right, the sugar has now caramelized sufficiently, so we're going to drop in the figs, as well as some balsamic vinegar, and let that cook for 3 to 4 minutes. About 3 minutes are up, so let's find those star anise pieces, and remember we had 4 of them, so we want them all. 1 right here. There's another one too. Right, so now what you want to do is you want to take one of those potato mashers, and you're just going to start mashing what's inside the pan or the pot, whichever one you were using, and really creating that fig jam. And obviously we need some bread for our crostini, so all you want to do is, obviously cut it into nice little chunks, and then we're going to drizzle it with olive oil and give it a bit of a sear outside on the barbecue to make sure that we have some nice sear marks as well. And let's quickly take care of that. So on with the olive oil, and make sure you get it from both sides, because obviously you want to have a nice crust on both sides. And on they go for a quick sear. Right, the crostinis are ready, so let's take some of that fig jam and just spread it right on top. And just be careful guys, because this remains piping hot for quite a while because of all the sugar that's inside. So I suggest that you let it cool down just a little bit before you serve it. Alright, onto the fettuccine. So in with the salt, into boiling water, a little bit of olive oil, and then in with the fettuccine, and they need about 6 minutes until they're done. Alright, we're ready to plate up, and what you want to start off with is your freshly cut parsley. Just put it on the top, sorry, on the bottom. And then we're just going to add the fettuccine on top, and look how lovely that is. Now, talking about lovely, unfortunately I had a little bit of a mishap, and you're going to see that in a second. I did not pay attention and the veal got a bit dry. So the bottom did get a bit burned, and I'm really sorry for that, guys, but the meat is definitely super soft. And I'm sure it's still edible, but as a word of advice, you know, pay close attention, have a look after like an hour if it needs more liquid. I mean, it is super soft, but hey ho, that's how life goes. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video about the braised veal cheeks from the Dutch oven with fettuccine and the fig jam crostini. Now I have to admit it did run away from me a little bit. It was still super delicious. It was extremely soft, so it was almost like pulled veal cheeks rather than braised veal cheeks. Now I did lose a bit of track of time. They were in for about 3.5 hours at 150 degrees, and I should have really checked after about I would say 2.5, 3 hours how I was doing with the liquid, and I didn't do that because I got a bit distracted because we had friends over. To no fault of the friends though. But yeah, so either you do it at a lower temperature, I'm sure like 120, 130 degrees, then that will be absolutely sufficient with the liquid. But if you go 150 degrees, then you should definitely check up on how much liquid is left after about 3 hours. Now, nevertheless, it was super delicious. The fig jam really worked, and together that was absolutely nice. So if you did enjoy the video, I would appreciate a comment and a thumbs up. And please head over to that subscribe button for more great videos to come, and I hope to see you soon again at Toby's Barbecue Corner.